Welcome to Crimson Guitars, welcome to this build. Okay, I am building Bob. This guitar is a little bit insane, and in the last episode, well, a test piece totally disintegrated. I nearly cried, it was emotional, but you know, we live and learn, and I have a solution. So what happened was, well, that actually. And as you can see, I've been playing with different ideas and different methods to strengthen that joint. Now, I'm building, if you haven't watched the first couple of videos of this series, go back and watch them. I'm doing something insane and never done before. In this video though, I am going to show you on the test piece what is going to fix this issue and help strengthen the weak point of what's going to be the body. I am going to finish preparing the final outlines of the neck, and I'm going to glue the fretboard on, and yeah, that should be it. Rivets. Okay, you know I like playing with metal. Check out the copper guitars we've built if you haven't, because you know, metal and wood, the dichotomy is pretty awesome. So the issue we have is, as I'm bending the body out, that's fine, but if it's under tension, which it will be, you know, as it's played, if it gets a knock in the wrong place, as happened yesterday, i.e. there, it would push against that and just crack at the weak point in the corner here at the end of the slit. Now we need to strengthen that up. Now what I'm going to do, or what I think is going to work, well, come on Ben, there's our line. Now, drilling a hole through there makes a difference, for one. Like so. But I'm also going to rivet like so. And then what you end up with is a piece of material, okay, brass. I'm going to have a chunk of brass going all the way down there, and then slightly offset from that, I'm going to have little brass rivets going laterally. And very basically, the process involves, this is an old and blunt file, by the way. I will peen one side of this over, put it in from the other side, and then peen that down, and basically create a domed rivet of brass that gives clamping pressure like so. And I did do some tests earlier with a couple of pieces of toothpick there, and it's much stronger, much stronger than the other one was. So there we go. That's the problem solved. Basically, I went through many different options. We were thinking about wrapping that whole joint with very thin wire, because that actually could look pretty cool. Tom Webster, the director of operations at Crimson Guitars, he was adamant that doing the same thing with wet leather would look awesome and would be cool, and he's not necessarily wrong, to be honest. I thought about using actual rivets. I thought about putting threaded rod through and having bolts on either side, but that doesn't fit the look I'm after. In the end, there is going to be another thing front and back that will stabilize the whole instrument. These rivets are there to stop anything happening in the interim, I think. So, well, there we go. I'm going to move on to the neck. There it is. Hey, in my mess, I can't tell you. My workshop is just an absolute insane mess right now. I need to work on that. Coffee mugs everywhere. Hell, there's still coffee in that one. There's still coffee in that mug. Goodbye. I've tidied up the coffee. Let's tidy up the workbench now. So, what I need to do is finalize the actual outline of the neck. This is problematic because the body is one piece and I can't get a plane on it, which really sucks because I enjoy using planes. What I'm going to use instead is noisy and makes dust, but is the best tool for the job. A router in template, of course. So, one template, and basically I'm going to route not very deep, but I'm going to route just a little bit all the way along. I'm not 100% certain in my mind what to do here yet. Now the body, it depends on the route a bit. It depends on how long, how deep it wants to cut. I might end up having to do that at a later date, but let's see. So first of all, yep, that's fine. Masking tape and super glue trick. Put the template down. So, masking tape. Super glue. Accelerator. I'm going to take this off anyway. I wasn't planning on doing it this way, and I thought that I wouldn't need, that I could just leave that truss rod in there, but that is not the case. So, ooh, wow, terrible masking tape. That's what happens when a cat chews it. Now I've lined up the nut lines, I've lined up the center line, and I've double checked that it's okay with the markings that I've made on the outline. Now if you're skeptical about the functionality of masking tape and super glue well, you should be. I was. However, it is incredibly strong against lateral pressure and very, very easy to rip off if you're just pulling it straight off like so. Leaves no, well, watch the videos. I've done a couple of videos on this. Now that is cured, I'm off to get a router. Where is that router? Aha! Now, I love Triton routers for several reasons, but the one I really like about this, the best thing, is when it's not locked off, this ratchet system is just amazing. My desktop is also on. Okay, there we go. The whole collet pops out, and with minimum of messing around, you can change. You can change your router cutter. Most routers, you're doing all of this inside of the body of the tool, and it's just unergonomic. There we go. This isn't supposed to be an advert for Triton, but it also locks this off so that you can't turn the router on while the collet is extended and locked off. Yeah, I like good design. Now, the question is, with the bearing extended, so the bearing is on my template, which is fine, and the cutter is only going to cut 2 or 3 millimeters of the neck off. This is going to give me the final outline that I require, absolutely straight and true and good. What I've been worrying about and thinking about is the fact that on a normal guitar, the top comes up to the bottom of the fretboard. There isn't a gap. This isn't a normal guitar, it doesn't really matter. If I lose 2 or 3 millimeters over the body, that's not a problem. What I'm going to do is I will route all the way around with that, and then I will route 3 or 4 more passes just where the neck is, and that will give me, well, everything I need. You then carve to that area, and it will be fine. It will be fine. This is the easy bit. I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, clamp. Vice is in the way. Of course the vice is in the way. Power. Protection. Personality. Always double check that the template isn't going to move. It occurs to me that this is throwing up more dust than I'm comfortable breathing into my lungs. So, yeah, dust mask, air filter. Give me a sec. Lungs are rather important, aren't they? I also need to finalize a brake angle, and this is something that a lot of people worry about, and with good reason, I suppose. However, it's not so bad when you're actually working it out on the instrument, or at the very least in a full-scale drawing. Now, I'm going to have a tunematic bridge, or am I? I'm not going to have a tunematic bridge. I'm going to use a Granger Guitars hardtail bridge for one reason. Well, for several reasons. They're very good bridges. We use them on our production Granger guitars, on some of them. And but the main reason is the footprint. A tunematic, the posts are going to be much wider than the through neck section of this build, and I'm cutting right through that. Now, there are ways I could insert some wood or whatever and have the posts on that, but I would rather have the bridge as firmly seated on the through neck section of this guitar as possible. That means that I need a different brake angle than if I had a tunematic, for example, because the tunematic's like 8 mil higher. We should just leave this as a guitar like that, yeah. Twiddle, twiddle, no? So here's the fun bit. Template held perfectly. We've got no waste, no rubbish, and it comes off with ease and a minimum of mess. Like so. Okay, so there's a fretboard that's a little high. Here's a bridge. It's a little bit packaged up. I love these bridges. Okay, so that fits very nicely on the neck. It's going to go over just a fraction, which is fine. I will design the cuts to take that into account. Height-wise, I don't need to change the angle. Now, if I had a tunematic, for example, I must have one laying around somewhere. Hold on. Here we go. If I had a tunematic, I would need to lower this wood here. and I'd do that in an angle, bring the bridge down, you need to have access. That's not the case in this. So actually, this piece of wood here at the body is roughly the right height where it is. Now the problem is, I've gone ahead thinking I had a tunematic, routed all the way around there, knowing that I would do something with it. Now what I've found is actually, on a traditional guitar, I should have left that, because that would just be flat. However, this is not a traditional guitar. I'm going to carve the body before there even is a body. I love my life. I absolutely love my life. So what I want to do is, from the bottom of that cavity, I'm going to carve coming up to the bridge, which is going to be flat at that level, and then do a recarve going underneath. And it's just going to have a flowing sort of feel. And yeah, it's going to be good. I also need a curve now, and yeah, I'll plane that in, so I'm going to get to do some planing. And also, at this stage, I'm not 100% certain how square this is. So yeah, I need to make sure that the fretboard gluing surface is square and good, because that's important. So that's our bridge line. And that's what we want to sort of carve away there. Now, the other thing I'm aware of at the moment actually is I'm breaking my own rules. I'm trying to get this project finished relatively rapidly so that, well, because I am. But, but what I need to do is cut the excess away from the neck and leave it to settle for a day or two before I put the fretboard on, because I really, really don't want the neck to twist and change, and removing this material is going to do that. Now, what I'm going to do very quickly, we're going to go downstairs to one of the big bandsaws and remove as much waste as possible. Okay, so my fretboard is about 7mm thick. I want the neck to be 22 or so. So what I'm going to do is just roughly discard a ruler. Yeah, just roughly mark out. There we go. That actually works. The waste I want to keep. Now, removing that material, if there's any tension in this wood, that is going to move and release, and we will see what happens. I will then plane this flat in one of the soon-to-be-released videos, and then glue the fretboard on, and we'll move forward with that. So I'm going to remove that material on the bandsaw. I'm going to remove this material on the bandsaw, and then bring the guitar back up and plane the carve in, really, I think. Off we go. It's a little overkill. This is my bandsaw, the little bandsaw upstairs, big brother. So, and one I've had going for now since about 2008, 2009 maybe? 2004, 2005. This is an old bandsaw. Anyway, dropping things today. Slightly embarrassed, but hey. It occurs to me at this stage that actually I need to carve the rear end of this guitar as well, and I might as well remove the excess while I've got the bandsaw all set up. A little bit of cutting to do. I essentially just carved a top with a bandsaw. It's crazy. Just want to get rid of the excess. Okay, straight edge. Yeah, it's got a little bit of back bow in it. And a minuscule, half a millimeter or so. So there was some tension. Now I noticed that when I cut, when I made this cut along the neck, the cut, the curve, the gap closed, which meant that something moved. I'm going to leave this now and let the neck do what it wants to do for at least a couple of days. And yeah, so in the next video, I've been threatening to put the fretboard on for days now. In the next video, I am not going to put the fretboard on. I am going to finalize the carve, the shape. I'm going to get that shape in. I'm also going to design where my cuts are going to go and where the shape is going to be for the body, the sections that get pulled out. And yeah, it's going to be that, carving, shaping. I'm out of my comfort zone. This whole build is strange and it's awesome. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe. Please subscribe. It means that, you know, one, I know that you actually care and want to watch me doing all of this stuff. And two, yeah, well, it helps and it's cool. And it means you get to see what happens as we go live. That feels weird, but anyway, do not forget this instrument is going to be the prize in a giveaway. Go to crimsonguitars.com. If you're watching this series as we put them out, there is a competition going on right now. Anything that you buy in our web store gets you an entry into the competition. Every single £10 within that order is another entry into the competition. And this guitar will be shipping out to whoever wins it, well, soon. It could be you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.